Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Father, we thank you for Emily, for coming here and having the courage to open up and talk about her dad. Father, we ask that you give her the courage to speak openly and freely. Father, because what we do here is we try to save souls. Father, we try to get our stories out, and we try to help that one person. Father, we ask that you sit with us and you keep our hearts open and our minds free. We pray these in your name. Let's go to work.
Welcome back to Recovery Unfiltered. It's Rob and Larry in your ear again. We don't need letters before or after our names, just two drunks with a lot on our brains. Sit back, relax, let us carry the load. We two alcoholics with a lot to say.
Ye frickin' haw. Hi, Rob.
What's up, buddy?
Who do you have here with you today?
I don't know.
Come on,
I
now.
found this young lady at the liquor store.
I had my thumb up and everything.
Atta girl.
I hopped in the truck.
Hey, if you don't know, that there is Bonnie and Rob Jr. That is Emily. Welcome, Emily. Welcome.
See the chicken? That's Abigail. I never told you about Abigail, did I? Yeah, we'll never.
That's a private story.
That
You
is.
tell that another
That's
time.
four-step shit.
Yeah, you don't want to tell that in front of your daughter. This is Rob's daughter. We have had Logan. We've had both my daughters. We've had both of our wives. Emily, you're the final piece to this family
I told her that
trilogy.
on the way here. She's
We saved you for last, and I pray that is something to consider. So we're saved the best for last.
I feel like that's a lot of pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure, honey. No pressure. Hey, so what we're going to do is I'm going to dig into something first with your dad because I got something that's been frustrating me. And yes, I watch and listen to a lot of Instagram for the podcast, for personal blah, 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 whatever. So I come across some stuff that's frustrating to me sometimes when I look at it and I read it. And sometimes I do it with an open heart and open mind. There's a lady that I follow that is just a basher. She's bad about AA because she felt like it killed her husband, blah, 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 blah. She's about alcoholics, period. She's got some
She's got an axe to grind, huh?
It's horrific. And, and I watch it and I'm thinking, good grief, do you know what I don't know. And I try to keep an open mind that, maybe it helps people. I don't know. I pray it does, and it doesn't take stuff.
You pray that what helps people?
Whatever they're doing, right?
Venting or bashing?
I don't know who it would help. It's not helping me to look at it. And I come across this guy, and I'm going to play it. It's about 2 minutes long, and then I'm going to come back on this.
Yo, what up, Hope Dealer? I hope you're enjoying your Box Mod vape today, and I hope you have a cool flat brim hat on. So, I went to way more than 90 meetings in 90 days. Like, y'all can click on this comment and see this nonsense. There's this idea that anyone who criticizes the cult of AA or NA is just inexperienced. They're like unwilling. They're scared to look at themselves. Nah, miss me with that. All right. I went in and I went hard with everything. I went above and beyond. In fact, I would be willing to say that I probably did more in my time, in my many years within the cult than you ever will, because I spent my weekends going, into prisons. I was the H&I representative of my home group. I was a meeting maker, a key holder. I had, the key to my home group. I started meetings and chaired them. I sponsored people. It was my life. I lived a life of service within the context of AA, which is basically doing free labor and recruitment for the cult. I understand the literature, the steps, the traditions, the 12 concepts. I understand the esoteric aspect or the supposed esoteric aspect. I get all of this. All right. So I have your currency. I also never relapsed, and I wasn't on MAT. All right. And I say that because I see in your other comments that you're a toxic NA cult member. NA is worse than AA because they have anti-medication rhetoric within this space, and it is enabled.
So
now, when you consider that this space is meant to help people who are using the substances that MAT works for, then you start to see how insidious and unacceptable this cult really is. Yo, what up, Hope Dealer? I hope you're enjoying.
What's MAT?
I have no idea. I have no idea,
Guess I
and
should-
I wish. Obviously, it's probably something to help wean off of drugs. Maybe the listeners can wean in. It doesn't matter. What I don't understand, and I'm not even going to mention the guy's name because I don't want to give him any kind of props. And I'm sure the listeners probably understand and know who it is. So what I'm trying to figure out is what is his purpose. So when I got out of rehab and I came home, and one of the first things I did was. Katie just brought this up. MAT stands for medication assisted treatment. So I think that's what
Suboxone,
Suboxone, that
Awesome.
kind of stuff.
Great.
So, but anyways, so when I first got out of rehab, I brought it. Good grief! Will you stop
See if I
that
watch his baby.
already? Good God, your dad.
Anyway, go ahead.
You're so distracting. We just talked about this last week.
Medication assisted treatment, but that's
Right.
that's old school. Old
Right.
time, that's old hat. Everybody does that. It's
So
awesome.
I brought the book and everything. I brought it to my cousin, who's
What
huge-
book?
The big book.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was immature. I was
Oh, I
young.
remember.
in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I brought it to my cousin. I said, "Do me a favor, read chapter 2. Read chapter 2," and I wanted him to read it. So he did, and my cousin broke it down. I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm not following some crazy shit here, because I mean, Katie and I have been watching the show on Netflix or something. It's about cults and that kind of stuff, and there's some crazy ass people that are going on. And I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm buying into this AA thing pretty heavy. I want to know, make sure I'm not following down a road that is taking me in a bad path. And I did. So I had my cousin look at it, and he read it and he walked all through it. And obviously he found the holes in it, blah, 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 because he's strictly by the Bible. And that's fine. I mean, I still have his notes and everything, and it's really good notes. But I don't know what this guy's outcome is. What is the purpose of it?
I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Please do.
There are some AA fellowships that take this to a whole new level. There's one, a buddy of mine, he was a salesman.
Uh-huh.
At the time, he was a salesman for Cutting Edge, and he lived in Visalia.
Okay.
We're talking 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd come up here, and he'd stay in Oakdale, and he would do his rounds up here, and he would sell us screens and stuff. Alcoholic. And so I started working with him. He'd come up and I started talking to him. I said, but you really need to find a sponsor down in your area, you know. So 3, 4, 5, 6 months into this, he's like, Rob, you need to call me. And my sponsors got me on step 1, and I'm like, step 1?
What are you talking about?
You're 6 months sober, you know.
Right.
Anyway, but they had not AA, but this fellowship had their own workbook, their own, I mean, it was just, you want to talk cultish?
They had their own workbook?
Own little workbook, and you had to kind of buy into it. Was and there are some fellowships like that take things. So I could see where this cat's coming from if you got into one of those. AA generally, as a whole, I have not found that, but there are outliers that, boy, I tell you what, you've got to fit into this mold. Some people would even call it primary purpose. You know how because
It's a little cultish.
which I love, but. I could see that, but he may have got into something that just.
I don't know if it's a little cultish or cliquish. I think there's
that's
critical difference.
That's better. You're right. It is cliquish.
Little cliquish, and I've seen I've been into other AAs. Like when I travel and I go into an outside one, you feel that cliquish almost right away because they'll say hi to you, but then they don't speak to you kind of the rest of the time. Primary was not like that. Even when I was new,
it's very cliquish.
Yeah, but once you're involved in it,
But
then it becomes
they
cliquish,
all
like
are.
high school.
When I first went to Waterford, when we came to Waterford,
Yep.
everybody, and the local guys get called on first. Whatever.
Right.
I don't want to share it, but there are some that have their own language, they have their own little workbooks, and they're
Yeah, that's a little weird.
and
for
maybe
me.
he maybe got into one of those
Yeah,
because
that's a
they're
little-
out there.
That's a little weird for me. I like I said, I don't like. I don't want to.
But you know what I didn't hear him say?
What's
One thing
that?
he had a key to the fellowship. He did H&I. He did all these things.
Here
I
he
never
goes.
heard him say anything about working the steps.
Yeah. So thank
Never
you,
heard him
Rob.
say that.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I didn't hear that at all. I don't know. Like
Whatever.
I said, once again, as I say, I don't discount it. What I worry about is that one alcoholic that truly needs a room of AA that stumbles onto that and he ends up dying of alcoholism because this man is speaking that it's a cult. That's the part that concerns me only because I know AA saved my life. For me, it did.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned, it is no cult for me. It's
No.
not a cult.
Well,
for
I
me.
mean, if I'm brainwashed, if it brainwashed me, well, by God, I'm grateful for it because
You ain't lying.
it made me a better human being, got me closer to my God, made me a better father and parent. Not perfect by any means, but better than I was.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be here today
Nope.
had I not found the rooms of AA.
Nope, absolutely not. And anybody that's in the NA or anything like that, like I said, I wanted to play that. And yesterday,
Everybody knows my opinion on NA.
well, mine as well. I'm not too far from
But
it.
God bless. If they help somebody, God bless you.
And also on that, they yesterday when I was coming home, I got a phone call from one of our speaking of Colts, our Monday night group. A buddy of mine called me and he was like, we were talking. He's asking, "You doing okay?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm doing way better than I was 3 months ago. I'm kind of working through some stuff." And we got to talking, and it went back because we started talking about the group the interminglings of groups and how there's bickering and blah 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 blah. And I said, here's a thing that I have kind of come to the realization about in the last probably probably a good 3 or 4 weeks now. I have an extreme closeness to you, to Doug, extreme closeness and friends, just solid and inside of our Monday night group, almost to where we're so tight that I worry about sometimes if things happen and things go sideways inside that, what'll happen to that group? Because you've heard me say, well, okay,
I got you.
It's God's opinion. It's in God's hands. I know, but I'm going off on my history to where, for me, I was extremely involved in my church. I was teaching men's Bible study. I was teaching Sunday school. I was extremely involved in church. Then my pastor went sideways
Because
and
of where you had him.
yes. So
We talked about that.
yeah, so that was concerning.
You don't have
to-
any of us like that. We're just brothers.
No. Not you, not individuals. I have our group.
Ah, well.
So, and this is something that I've kind of came to realization on that, I need to get out to different groups. I heard Doug say it yesterday, and I heard you say it. You guys went to another church because you kind of felt stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
I may need to get to another group besides my Monday night. My boys are my boys. Monday night, that's our boys. I'll never replace that. But I feel like I need to get and plug myself into another group that has outside influences to the way I'm reading things and not just getting
Different
fed,
perspective.
right? Not just
Yeah.
getting fed by one.
Absolutely.
I got an AA meeting literally 300 yards from
And that's
my
a great
house.
one.
Yes, it is.
Hey, here's a funny story. Larry, being the control freak that he is, started going to the Waterford one, and then bitching to a sponsor. He fired me on air, by the way, so I'm not a sponsor anymore. I got fired. It was like the second greatest day of my life. Anyway, so he was bitching about it. These fuckers don't do that in this meeting. So I said, well, then do something about it. When it comes
did.
up, share the meeting.
And I did.
And so we took it over.
But I'm that way. I've been bitching about our HOA here for, I don't know, shit. We've lived here 13, 14 years. I've been bitching about it the whole time. Finally got told I'm going to be on the board. So,
There you go. Now you got to say.
So, that's the thing. Don't complain if you ain't willing to be a part of the solution.
Take action,
right?
absolutely.
Don't,
And if you feel you need a different injection of
and I do,
knowledge of
right.
just something different, go get it.
Just shake it up.
I'm
We get into
all
a
about
balance. We get into a balance, and you hear me talk about balance quite often. But what happens inevitably when you become balanced, everything is just ebb and flow, and there's nothing new. There's nothing sparking.
Well, so I wouldn't call that balance. I'd call that stagnant.
And that's where I kind of feel like I've gotten.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a bad place to be. It's recognizable that I'm there.
Well, remember, Brandon was in his little funk,
Right.
as he was texting this week. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to jiu-jitsu on Thursday. I'm going to go see Brandon. I know where he's going to be. So I went to the Thursday, Escalon. Awesome. It was nothing. There was no fireworks, but it was just good because I haven't been there in months.
And the
maybe
Escalon's a good meeting, too.
Yeah, just something.
I enjoy it.
Get what you need wherever it is. The only thing that bothers me with what that gentleman was saying, the concept, calling it a cult, the derogatory. Just say this was my experience,
Right.
and so if this was yours, I can help you.
Right.
There's other avenues, but sit here and just
So this is what
it's childish to do shit like that,
So
in my
this-
opinion.
But don't you think that's clickbait?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I was talking to Katie yesterday when I was looking at some of this stuff. I'm like, this guy has got to have his own agenda somewhere else.
oh, sure, everybody's got
He's
that
got
agenda.
his own agenda somewhere else by trying to steer people away from AA and NA. And I haven't dug deep enough, and I'm going to. Trust me, I'm going to. And I'm going to figure out his other, what he's trying to push people to, because he is not talking negative about AA and NA if he doesn't have another outlet.
Right.
What's his other outlet?
Yeah, what do you? Okay,
What's
because
your-
that's what
what's your
people.
angle?
What do you? What do you? Okay, since obviously he was an alcoholic or an addict, because that's why he went there. What are, if you're not doing these?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm curious.
Yeah, so I'm going to dig a little further in that, but that's the stuff that consumes my brain is when I hear stupid shit like that. But anyways, hi Emily.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
Why?
You're just going to talk about your dad.
All the questions you have answers to,
It's an easy subject. It's a,
and you. We'll talk about you.
It's a short subject.
Literally.
Short subject. Well, Emily, tell us a little about you.
Real fast, can I not talk about me and ask you a quick question?
Go ahead.
Just because if you think he gets off topic, I'm so much worse. Your tattoo on your arm, is that where the sidewalk ends by Shel Silverstein?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is the Shel Silverstein tattoo for your girls?
Uh-huh.
What's the correlation between?
You're going to make me cry, Emily.
Oh,
No, he asked you a question. Or she asked you a question. What's the answer?
I come in one day and I'm hosting.
It's good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's fine. I don't get asked about it a lot because it's
Really?
actually.
I didn't even know that. How did you know all
it's
that?
well,
when
See, I got. She's a smart one, family. Educated.
Where the sidewalk ends. So Shel Silverstein, he's a children's poet, and I remember
amazing.
reading him as a kid.
Yeah.
There's
the
3
Giving
books?
Tree.
Yeah.
The Giving Tree is one of. My grandma used to read that to me when I was a child. So the Giving Tree has always been an amazing thing for me. And then we were in Mexico on a family vacation. God damn it. And
How long? What time?
oh my gosh.
It wasn't a family vacation. It was our 20th anniversary.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. So
Oh,
it
wait.
wasn't Cabo. We were
Yeah,
down
20.
in we weren't in Cancun.
We just because we were getting ready to buy our house, and we were in contract to buy the house, but we didn't really want to spend a lot of money and do anything big. So I found this trip to Cabo, and it was like 3 days, and it was like $1,200 for us to go. So
Quick trip,
yeah,
yeah.
just a quick trip. We just needed to celebrate our anniversary in a significant way, but we were in the middle of buying this house, and it was a lot of chaos. So we just decided to get away. So it was Larry and I, and then my mom and dad. They tagged along too.
Right. So we were in this hot tub and we ran into this other couple, and this other girl was in there. You talked about a ass tattoo last week. I'm going to talk about this girl had a tattoo of where the sidewalk ends on, and I didn't know. I knew the Giving Tree, and that's all I knew of Shel's. And then when I saw where the sidewalk ends, I was like, what is that? Well, then she started explaining it to me, and I'm like, that's cool. So when I got home, Katie had bought me that book, and then she wrote, and then, well, I might as well go into the whole story.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it.
So
first of all, let me go back just a little bit for you. They were there celebrating as a family. It was this young girl, she was in her 20s, her boyfriend, her stepmom, and her dad. But they were there celebrating what would have been her brother's birthday. And that book was a significant part of her life with her brother as well. So she had it tattooed actually beautifully, kind of from her spine over to her hip. It was well done.
Yeah, it wasn't trash. And so we talked about it for a little while. Then her dad shows up. Well, her dad was a complete total drunk. I mean, I was a drinker at the time, but he was bad. He was dealing with the loss of his son, but then again, apparently this was normal for him. Well, we had hung out in the pool pretty much, all day long, and then the next day we were all kind of back together. And I'm like, "Hey, where's Dad?" Well, we don't know. He went into town last night and he hasn't been back. And we're like, "Holy shit!" And so he finally comes stumbling into the missing his watch and beat up and blah blah blah. And he'd been out all night long partying and it's just a disaster, drunk disaster. So when we got home, Katie had bought me the book, and inside the book, she wrote, read it. Remind me exactly what it says.
Oh, I just kind of wanted. Larry really struggled with. Being a girl dad.
Mm-hmm.
He sees that girl struggling, seeing her dad, and knowing what a train wreck he is.
It bothered me.
But the whole family was a mess because the son had committed suicide.
Ooh.
And so they were celebrating what would have been his life. He should have been there with them. And they were all just hurting so badly. And you could tell the dad, who his name was Kevin, you could tell that he was hurting, but he was just drowning himself. And it was sad. So they were all emotionally kind of wrecked because of it. You could tell that they were trying to distance themselves from him during the remainder of their trip. And Larry, I think it kind of stuck with him. His heart hurt for that girl. And so when we came home, I bought him that book.
The Giving Tree.
No, the Giving Tree had
where the
already bought
sidewalk
him
ends.
because
Oh.
his grandma used to read him the Giving Tree, so that book is very special to him. But he was so affected by what he saw and how that daughter was feeling towards her dad. And I bought him the book and I wrote inside and I said, this is just a reminder for you never to become a Kevin. And the sad part is he did. So
That makes more sense to me now.
we'll post a picture of the tattoo, but it's the sidewalk ends, and then underneath he had "For My Girls."
But you're not Kevin now. It would be nice to follow up and see where Kevin would be.
I hope for him, that Kevin
I've never talked
got
about
some
that.
help too.
Never talked about that. You have heard me say when I got to the edge of the sidewalk, and that's why I say it. It's for that right there. So anyway, you're welcome, Emily. Thank you.
I think that's a wonderful example of why I come here and I don't want to talk about myself, because I love learning about other people, and I know
Well, this is my damn podcast, Emily. Our podcast. Sorry.
I love that. I love that poet, and I noticed that, and I wanted to know the story, and
It is. It's one. So when I started with my tattoos of this one right here. Isn't actually my sobriety date. So it's April 12th, 2022 at 2:36 a.m. is when I took my last drink. To thy own self be true. And then once I got that done, and I was only planning on doing that one. And then once I saw it, I'm like, no, I got to do something different.
Oh, so this is the first piece in your sleeve.
Oh, that's the first piece right there.
Because once you start, you can't stop.
No, and then so then I saw a guy that had the olive branches that were wrapped. So I had these olive branches wrapped around it, and then there's this nice little piece back here, and I knew what I wanted right there. Right, that's exactly where that went. There's so much detail inside that little town. I don't have it shaved or oiled up or anything, and then. So, anyways, it's the whole thing is, I've had I could tell my story of my alcoholism from my arm, from start to end.
Well, she doesn't know. I have a sleeve too. I just never got one on my arms because
Jesus Christ, Rob.
who wants to cover that up with ink?
Jesus,
My sleeve's
Rob.
on my pecker.
Rob, your daughter's right here. Good God. Emily, tell us about yourself. Let's get off.
One thing my daughter knows is her father.
Well, we're about ready to learn some more about it. Good grief, I got to clean up.
Hey, that's a great question, though. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, no, that's, you know what?
Because usually the women on the part, Katie being the main one, always bring up the best shit. And the stuff that me and Larry overlook or don't notice, the women always pick up on that good stuff.
You know what's funny is I have honestly, she's the
That's
first
a great
one.
story. I never heard that. That's
Yeah,
a fantastic.
she's the first one to ask me about it, though. Honestly, I mean, my girls, everybody knows inside the family what that's for, but nobody's outside the family because, like I said, when I do tell my story, that's not something
I've never heard that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't dig into that one very far. That one did affect me pretty bad, but anyways, I mean, I think what got me on that one so bad is just the train wreck that guy was, and then I became that train wreck. And I think that's the part that affected me the most. And it's just that we hear this all the time. My bar is here. I'm not going to become that guy. And that was fairly early on in my
Well, and that's the same
alcoholism.
thing, Doug. I can't tell you how many men in our Monday night group or how many men I've sponsored who sat, and I'm not, one of them wasn't, this is not part of my story, but they would swear with an alcoholic father, they swore they would never be like him, and they turned out inevitably just like him.
And we hear that all the time in the room.
And they did.
All the times in the room. And it's just like I said, that one affected me, and I still remember, that poor girl was just a wreck. She was the wife, but there was the wife wasn't her real mom, so it was quite the deal. Well,
And when people say that when they see we went and saw some of my family after the reunion the next day. They got to see my kids, who they'd never seen. Some of the family, when they say you're just like Bobby, my dad. To me, to anybody, that's a compliment. It's a compliment. But it's something that I ran from because it was just too big of shoes for me to try to fill. So I'll go the other fucking way, But if I could be half the man my father was, man,
right.
I'm doing all right, and I think I'm almost there.
I think your dad would be pretty proud of you.
He would be today. He would be
he
amazing. But this is what he would
Right.
want to see because he didn't have. This is the only granddaughter he had, and he never got to meet her. It would suck because she'd have been spoiled fucking rotten, and he and I have been fighting over that shit.
As if I haven't been spoiled.
Well, she's spoiled
Right.
anyway. But
Right.
yeah. But Grandpa would have, But hey, God had different plans.
Yeah.
So
All right, shut up. Emily, now you're not getting away with this. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Where are you at? How
old
going to
are you?
school?
What's going on?
We don't ever ask a woman how old she is. and
She's
she is
24.
a woman.
she's 24.
Yeah.
Damn it, Rob.
I am 24. I'm more okay with saying it because I hit 21. I was like, God, I'm old. I'm in my 20s,
Right.
and I'm even at 24. I'm like, God, what were you thinking? You were 21. You were so
Right.
young. So I am 24 years young. I'm finishing up my schooling. I'm going to school to be a theater and dance teacher.
Okay.
I love arts education. I think arts education is so important.
When did you get into that? Was that early on? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
something you...
Since she's born.
Yeah,
So you've always doodled and loved the art?
not even so.
No, no.
I always differ.
Not
Like
art,
performing
performing.
No, I
Go
got
ahead,
you.
go ahead. She got you.
We're talking. Shut up over there.
like you usually get to be the distraction. I'm the distraction.
Go
There
get
you
him.
go.
Go get him, baby.
But not just ever since I was really young. I remember first grade. I heard there was a play going on. I was like, Mom, I want to do the play. And at that point, I did dance, but I watched Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, and I said I want to dance in those shoes, and they were point shoes.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, you have to train your ankles to be that strong to go on point. But like as a 5-year-old, I didn't understand that. So I was like,
Right.
if I can't go on point immediately, I'm not going to do it. Which I think would become a trend later. If I can't be the best immediately, I might as well not. So that's something I still work on. So I was like,
Progress, not perfection.
so I was like, I want to do the school play. My mom was like, well, you just quit ballet, so I'm not going to have you quit something else. So then second grade comes along, and I'm like, I want to do the school play. And she's like, okay, well, you wanted to do it last year, do it. Go ahead and do it. And I got one of the main roles.
Nice.
And I don't even know what drew me to it. I just really, really wanted to. So second grade, I just hit the ground running, and I
Nice.
loved it.
So you were involved in drama through the high school and everything?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where are you going to school at now?
Cal State East Bay, formerly
Okay.
Cal State Hayward. For anyone, I think they changed over in 2000. So anyone who went there pre-2000, they're like,
All right, so that's about Emily. So now I'm going to get into some stuff. And, Logan was on here, and one of the things when Miranda...
Totally opposite. Logan,
Yes.
you have to pull stuff at him.
Right.
She'll talk. Emily start talking.
I realized I don't have to carry the conversation.
Yeah.
So with my daughters, when my daughters came on, obviously my daughters saw their dad go through the wreck. They got to witness the wreck and the recovery. And now they're seeing everything that's happening. You never got to see the wreck.
what do
right?
you mean by the wreck?
The alcoholic, the active alcoholic that we were. You never saw that because you were too young. You've only seen the recovery side of it. So as you were growing up, what age? And I'm trying to go back to get some of the same questions that I asked Logan. At what age did you realize that your dad was a little different than other people, as far as like he was in a recovery, he was an alcoholic? When did you realize that?
Well, because it was between 3rd and 4th grade that you went to rehab. So it was my Aunt Tammy had come down for my birthday, and like we never saw Aunt Tammy just because she lived so far away.
Well, she's so little too.
Well, at that point she was eye level with me, so I was just barely seeing it.
There you go.
But so she had come down, and she had come down for my birthday, and then later I would be told that was when Tammy realized like something has to change, Bonnie. So as a kid, we're sit down on the couch and we're like, Dad's going away for a little while, and like it wasn't like it was explaining that you were going to rehab or whatever. And I think what and that I would say because there's definitely a before and there's an after. Because you're right, we didn't see the alcoholic just because, as far as alcoholics go, I think we were really lucky. Just because, you know, you would come, like we would do the thing, we'd go see Dad, and then he would just go in his room. So then this whole thing of like, well, why does my dad have to go away was really confusing as a kid. Yeah. And I remember just being so upset and being so frustrated and being like, well, is this the actual reason you came down? You know, and especially because like...
You mean to Tammy?
Yeah, to Tammy. I was like, is this the real reason you came down? Was it not even for me? Just because even as a kid, I did not like not knowing what was going on. I was like, I didn't like being lied to. Like
You were very much awake to what was happening.
I sobbed when I learned Santa wasn't real. Not because Santa was...
What?
Allegedly. Allegedly. I sobbed when I... Allegedly.
She did cry. She was pissed.
But it wasn't because Santa was real. I was pissed because my parents told me they'd never lie to me.
Oh.
And they lied to me. Like, that was my thing.
And when I got sober, I was like, we're not doing this no more. She was in the car, and no, I'm Santa. All those presents, they came from me because I had to, because it was a lie.
I'm Santa.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
you're the elf, not the Santa.
Well, yeah, both. I'm both.
So you do
But
remember.
she did. But she got pissed at her mother when I went away. She blamed Bonnie for me going away.
I absolutely
Really?
blamed
Yes.
my mother.
All right,
Like,
so your story is going to be a little different than Logan because
Yes.
Logan didn't really remember
Nothing.
So you do have some recollection of some
Just a
some
little bit,
actions
yeah.
going on. All right, so when your dad went away, you recognized that immediately, or did it take it 3, 4, 5 days before he goes, "Why is Dad not coming home?"
Oh, I think it was immediate because my mom would tell me stories, being like, my childhood best friend at the time, Lisa, so their mother Lisa came to Mom being like, "Hey, did you send Rob away? Because Emily's telling Gracie that, you know, her mom sent her dad away and she's pissed." And I was just angry because we didn't get to see you like that. And I would think it's probably safe to assume that Mom probably kept a lot of that away too.
Mm-hmm.
She protected you guys. She has said that.
And especially because I didn't see the way alcohol affected you. I saw the way alcohol affected Mom. Because she was...
Explain that a little bit. That's different. So you, 3rd grade, you remember that?
Well, it's like... What do you mean remember? Like,
Well, you said you saw the way it affected your mom. But
yeah, because... So... If anything I share about Mom is too much, we can cut it out.
Sure.
Your mom don't care.
So, like...
He talks about her yeah, trust me.
But, like, just she was an overwhelmed parent. Like, luckily you still had a job.
She said that.
You still you had a job, but, like, I don't think she would ever say this because...
She did. She was doing everything.
But she was doing everything.
And that's how alcohol affected her.
Yeah,
And-
she has said that. She's actually said that.
Exactly. So, like...
With her notebook. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, with her clipboard.
Clipboard of that, everything.
And because I was around Mom all the time, that's kind of like what I saw. And so I got to say, like, I saw the way it affected. And, like, as a little kid, I didn't realize, oh, my mom is so frustrated and is yelling and is upset all the time because my dad's an alcoholic and she's doing it herself. But, like, so as a little kid, all I have is, like, damn, I'm just really fucking up all the time because she's just yelling and shouting because we are all around each other.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, you weren't there because you were there, but
I was absentee.
just in a very different way.
Yeah, that's so you definitely saw your dad differently, like pre-rehab and post-rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see your dad differently in that period of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think post-rehab I saw my dad. Because, like, I have, like, memories of, like, you, me, and Logan, like, when we were little kids, of course. So it wasn't like we didn't see you at all. But it was like the routine was, you know, Dad would come home. We would open the door. We would all go run. We would go see Dad. We'd say, "Hi, Dad," like me and Logan. Kind of like the dog does now.
Yeah.
My mom will take the dog out to the garage after Dad gets home. But also, Mom...
Say that again. Do what?
The dog. Now Mom brings the dog out to me when I come home. It used to be because I was told by my wife, if the kids, because what I hated, never make me the enemy. Don't never tell my children, wait till your dad if they do something wrong. Wait till your father gets home. Then you're making me the enemy.
Gotcha.
You discipline with any discipline.
Right.
When I come home, I don't want that. And so she made a point. So when I come home, it's now the dog does all the celebrating because the kids aren't home.
Yeah, but that's what the routine was.
Yeah.
So, like, Dad would be getting home. She would fix the drink. You would get a drink as soon as you get home. She'd fix the drink. She'd be like, "Oh, Dad's coming home." So me and Logan would be like, "Oh my God, Dad's." Open the garage home, go see Dad, be like, "Hi, Dad," get all excited, give him his drink, and then we'd go inside, do our thing, and he would go in his room and do his thing.
Wow. So you were
Right towards the
absent.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were absent. Well, that's when she's going to remember the most.
Yeah.
Is that at the end, right? The severity of it. So when Dad got out of rehab and he started going to, so he got out and he started going to those meetings every night. Because you had an absentee dad prior to him getting healthy. There's all that noise.
I think the AC kicked on.
Yeah.
No, it's Harley's outside.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Harleys
it's
running
Harley's
by.
on the highway.
Yeah. I was saying my AC's never sounded like that. So you had your dad pre-rehab when he was an absentee father. Then you had your dad, then there was that period of time that he was gone, that 30 days that he was definitely absentee, but because he was gone. And then when he came home, he started hitting meetings every day for 3 years, as he said. So now your dad's gone again. So did you recognize the difference between why he was gone prior and the reason why he was gone after? Did you understand the difference?
Well, I think I didn't see it as a difference. I saw it
Okay.
just as a continuation,
Continuation.
basically. It's like another. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but did you see the difference in him when he was around the house? Did you recognize any difference in him when he was around the house? Like,
I would
okay, like
At that time, because when I went to, the biggest thing when I was at when I was at rehab, Chris had me do some homework on. Then the title was "Because of My Alcoholism, Fill in the Blank," and I was writing them down because I couldn't go to the outside meetings at the time because I was still on quarantine. And I got down to because of my alcoholism, my children can't ride bikes.
That I would like. I
That
just
fucking that was that. I don't know why that
that was the first time I've ever seen you break down.
that broke me. So when I got home,
you shared that with him.
yeah,
we would go up to visit him at can I
Yeah.
say the
Okay,
name
yeah,
of the
see,
rehab?
yeah, Maynard's.
We would go up to see him at Maynard's, and I remember like my one of my favorite stories to tell about me and my childhood best friend is how they taught me how to ride a bike by pushing me down the hill, and that's a great story to tell. Like I love that story, but then that story got totally redefined when I was visiting my dad at rehab and we were on a walk, and that was the first time I saw you like break down. Like my kids don't know how to ride a bike.
Wow.
and I don't know why that is, but that story. So when I got home, the first thing, we go to the park. Me and the kid, we go for walks, but we're going to learn. We're going to ride a bike. They're going to race, and we did.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So your dad, so now he's gone and he's going, I mean, he's back and you see the difference. Obviously, you see the difference in him. He's spending more and more time with you guys. But then again, he's gone every night to
The primary purpose.
I'm going to say it as a child because I can only imagine being in the third grade and my dad leaving all the time going to meetings. I'm going to say, why is Dad going to these stupid meetings? Did you understand them? Did you fathom what he was going through at the time?
It's like I knew you were going to meetings because you were an alcoholic, and they were kind of similar to the ones we like sat in on Maynard's and stuff like that. Like you hadn't taken us then, so I didn't know the inner happenings that was happening. But yeah, I knew you were going to meetings because you were an alcoholic.
And you were the first person what age did I have you give me my chip at primary? You were young.
Was it your first chip?
Or second.
First or second?
Second or third.
It
Third,
had to
third.
be because you went to rehab between third and fourth grade. So either fifth or
I
sixth.
think it was my second year of sobriety. I had my daughter give me my chip.
That's pretty cool.
It was amazing.
Sorry.
Well, my wife, but Bonnie didn't want to do it because she's so nervous around people. Logan is quiet. He was young, too young anyway. But she was the perfect.
Having another daughter in here is hitting pretty close to home. So, anyways, so Dad's gone, and now I'm going to ask you, when Dad started spending a lot of time with sponsees, when he started bringing other men home and started digging into that, because one of the things your dad is very proud of, and God bless him, is for the first 3 years, he went to a meeting every night, and he started doing sponsees, and you started bringing them home to the house.
Max, remember Max?
I was like, I remember Max.
Max lives in
Yeah.
Waterford.
Does he?
Yeah, well, he's free. Well, I'm not going to mention the company that his family's a part of, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he started bringing them home. Was there any period in that time where you go, why is Dad spending all this time with all these people? Was there ever any of that?
In what sense?
Like jealousy.
like I was
Jealousy,
taking time
yeah.
away from you guys.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely there, but I think it was also because like I said, like I experienced a lot of your alcoholism through Mom. Like just because like, and I could see like she was so frustrated because like the the way she parented and the attitude she had didn't stop. It just continued. I'm like, dog, Dad just went to rehab and it's supposed to fix shit, and
Right.
she's still yelling and he's still gone, and like this is like that's kind of how it was. So
And
it's
it, and
like,
it took a while because I, like Bonnie said, I didn't come in. Okay, I'm sober now, so
Yeah.
I'm taking charge. I just did my thing. Go to meetings, and eventually, the tide would change because I was with her because the yelling had to stop. Because my
You've talked about that.
well, yeah,
before.
because everybody knows my wife was abused,
Right.
yeah.
so she did not want to lay hands on the kids for as far as I was to be the disciplinarian, but so she would yell, and I can't stand that.
No.
So as I got sober, primary in the years ago, I didn't rush into that position. It just kind of did what I did, and God just let it blossom. Then I ended up taking my role as the head of the house and giving her a break, and as a part of that break, God really helped with her stupid lists. God started throwing her.
We talked about that,
started throwing her lists out there. Then she started seeing on her own. I let her come to that stuff on her own. I just did what I filled in where I could, but I was still there. I was the head, and then she just kind of things just blossomed that way. But eventually, the yelling stopped. And now these two, then once Emily became an adult, those two will still go at it sometimes, but for the most part, as kids, that shit had to stop.
Because it's like because the yelling stopped, but unfortunately the dynamic between Mom and I that we had stayed, because it's like because you weren't there, she was made the disciplinarian, so she was
Because Dad
everything.
was absent.
And here's the thing, I love my mother dearly, and I understand what she went through and why she is this way. But sometimes she's very emotionally unavailable. She's very distant just because she's not super in touch with her own emotions. And, and so sometimes, that was the tough thing. It was just, seeing that continue.
Yeah, so as Dad was working through that, I'm skipping over a lot of these questions. I went, like I said, I went back through Logan's and trying to try and kind of try to mimic some of those questions just to get the different responses. And if you had, as a child, if you took yourself back to that girl in that third and fourth, knowing what you know now, would you have advice to give to your dad?
Or advice to give to yourself.
Advice to give to yourself. In other words, that little girl that's out there that might be struggling, or a mom or a dad's listening to this, and they say, my kid needs to listen to this. My 5-year-old, my 6-year-old, my 8-year-old. Katie's been asked these questions a lot of times, and Katie and Bonnie, honestly, and Kim has said it. There's a lot of the wives that have sat in there, and they always say, just hang on, it gets better. So if you had to transport back to knowing what you know now, what your dad has gone through, the work that he's gone through, where you have your dad now, what advice would you give that little 6 or 7 or 8-year-old little girl?
If I'm being honest,
Please, I know we're all.
This Recovery Unfiltered.
because I know who I am, and because I'm trying to determine in my brain. I was like, would I have listened to an older Emily? Because
it's always the question.
And I think I am someone sometimes I just because I like to learn, and because I just desire for knowledge, and I like to be in control, and I like to know things. I don't think I could have told her anything different. I think she had to learn for herself. But if Emily now 24, I would absolutely just go in her room and just hold her and tell her it's going to be okay. You're going to be great. I'm going to braid her hair, and I'm going to play with dolls with her. And I'm just going to make her feel like she has a friend. And I'm just going to make sure that she knows that, somebody is here for her, and somebody, because, just hold her and braid her hair and play dolls with her.
What would you have? What would you go back and tell your dad?
Learn to braid hair.
If you had the knowledge,
What could I have done better in my early sobriety with you?
No. The knowledge you have now, if that little 7-year-old girl could have had your knowledge to reach out and tell your dad, what would you have said to your dad?
Let me think on that for just a moment.
He'll put that to your throat. He loves when we swallow it.
Honestly, just be there for Mom. Don't even worry about me right now. Just go be there for her, because she needed you out of any of us, and especially because just of the way things trickle down sometimes. She's frustrated, she's yelling at me, So then I'd get frustrated and I'd go yell at my brother. And then she'd get frustrated. You can't be yelling at your brother like that. She'd yell at me. So just because of the way everything fell, I'd be like, just go be with her. Because if you guys work this out together, it'll work out for me and Logan. Just
It'll
go.
waterfall.
Just
It'll
go.
waterfall through the family.
Just
Absolutely.
be what Bonnie needs, what Bonnie never had. Go be that.
And it took time for me to do that.
Yeah.
But Emily and my wife, Emily and Bonnie, are enough alike.
Yeah.
But they're enough different. And sometimes they don't jive because they can't comprehend. They can't communicate because there's those differences. Where those differences are where we are the same.
Both sides of a magnet will run away from each other.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
But Emily's a lot more complicated than my son. And I don't want to say, and usually, and women are, and females generally are more complicated, but she is very much more complicated. Logan's black and white, simple.
Not more complicated. She's got more dimensions.
She's more complicated.
I think that's firstborn too, though.
Yeah.
Something I've like every kind of dynamic you can have with a child is unique. You know, a father-son dynamic is not going to be the same as a father-daughter dynamic, the same as a mother-son dynamic. But I think, honestly, the hardest dynamic to navigate is mother and daughter, and especially I am the oldest daughter of an oldest daughter. So that is like, and especially with the kind of life mom lived, like that is just like.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes like it is just genetic and innate that we don't get along.
Yeah. And they have to navigate their own, and they have to navigate their own relationship.
It also gets better in time.
Yeah.
It will. It will get better in time.
Hey, what is the word recovery to? I mean, so as you were growing up, and you know that word recovery, what did that mean to you in those early ages? Obviously, you understand it now, but in those early ages, when you'd hear recovery, he's in recovery. How did you accept that?
Because the way alcoholism was set up for us when we were young is alcoholism and addiction is a disease like any other. So in putting it in terms of it being a disease, something very logical, because even as a kid, like I loved school, so I wasn't ever shy to looking at things logically, being like, oh, you know, when you're recovering from a disease, you know, it takes time and stuff like this. So I almost put recovery in the context of like getting better from being sick or getting better from an injury. So that's kind of what that's what it meant for me. It just meant getting better in whatever way this injury needed.
Was your dad different than other dads?
Yeah.
Why?
I think everybody is different from everybody. Like you're gonna, just because of, you know, lived experience, everybody's gonna be different from anybody. Like regardless of whether he was an alcoholic or not, my dad's different than other dads.
But when did you recognize that some dads didn't have this problem? This is one that Logan figured this out. I want to say like 11 or 12 is when we
started playing baseball with the other dad.
Right.
We'd get bed with the Jones family, and we'd have to go over there for that, and then everybody else would be drinking with his dad.
When did you realize that your dad was that person? He wasn't under the bridge drunk. He was just an alcoholic that couldn't be like other dads. Or is that never any...
I think it was when he went to rehab, because I was like, well, nobody else's dad is going to rehab. Okay. Because it's like,
They probably should, but they ain't going.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And especially because I also had a lot of friends at the time where they had single mothers.
Okay.
So I always, so just because like the friends I had, and like I kind of knew that every family was different, especially from a young age, you know. So I was like,
you were not only, so you're very, don't take this wrong, Logan, I love you, buddy, but you're very much more further ahead, intelligently thinker,
analytical.
So, and I think that has a little bit of difference between you and Logan. Not that you're smarter than him. I just think you're more intellectual, and as you think out ahead of yourself. A couple deep questions, Emily, and I'm going to ask this: do you ever worry about your isms?
absolutely.
Okay.
Because I think I would be foolish not to.
Okay.
Because I think I kind of piggybacking up what you were saying. I think I'm like that because I try and think so outside of the box. I try and understand where everyone is coming from, and understanding where everybody comes from, and how how alcoholism affected you and Mom and Logan. I can better understand how it affects me. So I think it would be foolish to not try and take account of my own isms.
And to be quite honest, I've walked into her room more times with a big book in my hand to read stuff out of there, because it's passed down from father to daughter, mother to son. Uh-huh. You know, if they ever do find a gene, that's what they say. Anyway, she would have more of the isms than he does. So she's heard more Big Book. I mean, they've all heard Big Book because but I went and read, especially like, the actor trying to direct and control everything in their lives.
Perfectionism.
Yes. Procrastination.
Yep.
She has a lot of the isms.
Yeah, that is one of those things where, I worried, and I say this, and my daughters heard me say this. I worry about my daughters because I see a lot of my personality in my daughters. My daughters are literally a perfect slice of both of me. My oldest is very sensitive, very, she worries about everybody. She's an amazing human being. She's a nurse, so she loves, caregiver. And my
fixer.
Yeah, my daughter on the other slice of me will tell you to go fuck yourself before she'll lick your wounds and make you happy, right?
And I think that's an oldest daughter thing too. Like,
See, again, Bonnie's like that. Bonnie is not a lovey-dovey, holy like in me would. And at the time when my daughter needed that, I was just getting.
You were consuming Bonnie at the time, so you were getting more of the attention than.
And Bonnie didn't know how to deal with a daughter like this because she didn't. Well, because Aunt Jamie got little Bonnie.
Yeah.
And Bonnie got little Jamie.
Yeah.
So who's Jamie?
My wife's sister.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law. So her daughter is like Bonnie.
So that's
and our
so
daughter
funny.
is like Jamie.
Something, if I can point that out, that I think because I have a very, very good relationship with my Aunt Jamie, just because we are all so similar. And something we were talking about is like I think they got each other as daughters because they couldn't handle themselves as a daughter, especially because my mom tries to fight through everything because that's her first go-to. That's what she had to do.
Yeah.
And where she fought with fists, I fight with words. So having a kid that, and I don't mean this in a negative way because she'll see this.
It's an intellectual.
Having a kid that can outsmart you, and it makes her feel bad.
Right.
And you know what? Naturally, I get it. Just because that was my strength, and she couldn't use her strength on me.
She has physical battles. You have intellectual battles. There's two different battles that last. And trust me,
but they were fighting each other with different weapons.
For sure.
And
trust me.
Yeah.
And trust me, somebody that's used to fighting with their hands, it's not fun. And somebody that's used to fighting with their brain, they don't understand the fighting with their hands. It's like,
she would always say, she's like, you and Jamie just do this thing where you can just give a look that makes you feel so small and so just and I hated it.
But that was also a great gift. Emily could go to her aunt in those times, and get that understanding. So it's a great dynamic that God opened up.
So something they both say is like that. The reason they both try to keep it so open is so like if there is something, like my mom, she's like, if there's something you can't go to meet about, I need to know that there's another trusted adult in your life that you can go to. And the same is true for my cousin Olivia. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of stuff right now that I'm talking about to my aunt with, just because I need other. Like I said, I need other perspective. Right. I need to see outside of myself. And when Liv gets my age, I hope she can go to my mom and be like, dude, my mom is driving me up a fucking wall. And I'm sure my mom will be there for her.
And you know what? And she will. She will, because here's the thing. My two granddaughters are exact twins to their Aunt McKenna. They're just like McKenna. And poor Miranda is like, why do I deserve this? Why do I?
Well, it's the same thing Bonnie and Jamie said.
Is Miranda your oldest daughter?
Miranda's my oldest. Got my two granddaughters and my grandson. And my grandson is just like her. He's very caring, and he's just an amazing human being. Both my granddaughters are too. It's just they are their Aunt McKenna, so they're Kenna.
It's going to be
spicy.
They are spicy.
It's going to be it's a tougher job to raise that. You just were. I mean, and where I'm a great, and I believe I'm not the best communicator in the world, but I'm a fantastic communicator. Or God wouldn't have put me in this position to help other men. However, when it comes to the two women in my life, the most important women in my life, I struggle sometimes. Like when we just had our little talk the other day, I shared it with the guys because they've all been praying for me, and I fucking dropped the ball bigger than I ever have. And my daughter comes, Dad, you should have talked to me like one of your sponsees. She goes, I understand why it came out that way because I'm your daughter. The stakes are higher for you. And I just, and I fucking.
And I can't lie to you. That shit hurts.
I know.
Yeah.
It hurts, and I struggled.
But she also knows where I'm coming from. She also knows me and knows that, okay, he fucked this one up, And that's but it still hurts. It's still, and it.
when
Yeah,
I did
it
my
sucked.
amends to my daughters, doing my amends to McKenna was easy. Doing my amends to my oldest, Miranda, that was the tough one. Only because she emotionally hold on to things, and I emotionally hold on to things with her just way too long. Me and McKenna, we would just fight shit out. She'd tell me go fuck myself, and when I tell her go fuck herself, and we were happy. Where Miranda was a little bit, she would hold stuff back, I'd hold stuff back. It was just different. So I understand that. Hey, I want to move on a little bit because we're going to come back to that, but we're going to go. I want to ask you, and I hated that I didn't do this with Logan. I'm going to drop the second bomb to you, and you were probably in high school when your dad came to you and said, "I have throat cancer."
Oh, it was actually it was 2020.
Okay.
I had just graduated high school. There was a global pandemic going on, and then my dad's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm dying." So I was like, "Oh, that's."
I didn't say that, but
I know. Well,
But as
in
a kid,
her brain, that
Yeah.
how
I was
that's
like,
what-
it was fucking.
How did you? I mean, what was your first? What did anything? Let me ask this because your mom stated we've already got through the other. Now we got to go through again, something different. We're in two different battles.
because I was 9 years sober by this
Right.
time.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden, now we're going to start battling something different. Was any of that in there, or you know what I'm saying? Your dad battled for his life already once,
Yeah.
right? Now he's going to have to battle for it a second time. Your mom recognized that. Did you recognize that at all, or did the first part of it probably already subsided so much that probably didn't come into?
Well, but because of COVID, she didn't get a graduation. She was one of those kids.
Oh, you were one of those
That's
kids.
that. That
she
is-
got
yeah.
she got hammered with that, and then you can't bring shit home to dad. So I was stuffed away in the back of the
Because
room.
I had also I needed a job because I had also started working at a grocery store because that's where you could get hired. They needed people, so I was like, there is no way. I was like, there's no way I can be around my father right now. I was like, I am terrified that I am going to kill him.
Really?
That's why, like after you began remission and the first time you could go out, you went to Rayleigh's. I was scanning groceries, like just a simple job, and he started crying because he got to see his daughter at work, and he was scared that he was never even get to see me at work.
All new to you, huh?
No, I remember crying. I mean, because I was out, and I got
Right.
just. She's
Well,
my
I mean,
first.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
And she's
there's
the one I
something
worry. She's the
special
one I worry
that.
about the most because she's got enough of me
Right.
that are good. I mean, the things that God turned and made them good, but they weren't good when I was using them. You know, those isms, and she has them, but they haven't bit her. You know,
Do you
because
worry about
there's
her
nothing.
isms? Do you worry about her isms?
No.
You don't?
No,
Why?
not anymore, because it serves no purpose. When
Well-
remember the Bible story, and when I couldn't talk, in that moment is when I stopped worrying. No, I don't worry about her at all, because it serves no purpose. One, and God's taken that fear from me. I
and
gave them over.
understand
I gave
that.
them over to the Lord.
I understand that because we've talked about that so much. You know,
But no, I don't.
I don't. I used to worry about my daughters, and
My biggest worry about my daughter is her putting her wants ahead of her needs. That's my only worry.
We worry about that with all of our
other than
kids.
that,
but
that's not even a worry, but that's just my, yeah.
what
No,
is
I don't worry
something?
about her.
What is something you never told Emily you want to tell her?
There is nothing. She knows everything. She knows I love her. She knows everything. I'm proud of her, and that's one thing, because her direction is so different than what I would do. You know, up on the stage, it comes from my side of the family. We know it just doesn't come from me. You know, my Tammy. You know, Tammy, because he went to school with Tammy. So did Katie. So they all know, larger than life, Tammy, center of attention. That's you.
It's in a different
Yes.
way than Tammy, because I was talking. My dad's like, "Why are you nervous to go on the podcast? You can." If I can just be, if I can toot my horn just a little bit.
Toot away.
Please do.
I did.
This is Rob right here.
I did a show in front of 4,000 people.
Nice.
And as soon as I hit that stage, I wasn't nervous. I love public speaking, but I like when the attention is on something I worked for. People call
Oh,
me a
yeah.
great dancer. I worked for a long, long time to be.
She taught herself all that on YouTube.
Yeah, so that you're proud of yourself.
And that's the thing. It's like I don't want you to just be proud of me just because I'm your kid.
That's
I mean,
what bothers me. Why are you proud, Dad? I haven't done nothing. You're my daughter. You're amazing. I never got the cops called. Never had, I none of that stuff. she's an amazing
to
person.
Me, and to
She-
me, I feel like not getting the cops called on you, not being a crackhead on the street is just that's just the basic.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want attention for just showing up.
Yeah.
I want attention because I danced my ass off or I did a really good speech or something like that. That's how I'm different from Tammy. Love her very, very much because I know you watch this. I love you very, very much, and I am so much like you.
What's something you haven't ever told your dad?
I think it's this. I think it's the same
You guys
way.
are pretty open.
It's
yeah.
and I was like, and if I haven't told him just because it hasn't came up yet, you know, I just
It's one thing I do love about your guys' family. You guys, I mean, my daughters too. I mean, my daughters knew of my drugs back in high school. I mean, we're very open with my daughters. My daughters don't know. There's nothing about my previous life or about me that they don't know.
Yeah, they know all about it.
and that's
I mean,
even before you were an alcoholic because you guys lived some pretty tumultuous lives
Oh, yeah.
before that, and like both mom and dad were like, we don't want you hearing anything from anything else. We rather have
Or
you
anybody
hear
else, yeah.
what we did from us and just learn from that.
yeah, my daughters both have aunts that are not even remotely related to them. They're just people we ran around with back in high school.
But the one thing I'm not too worried about, both my kids, they're not lazy.
Oh.
When Emily wants something, they'll work, and that's why.
Isn't that a blessing? Katie and I were just talking about
Yeah.
that yesterday. We were both of our daughters, the moment they were old enough to go to work, like they had to go get a work permit signed, the moment they were old enough to do it, they did it. I don't know if we taught them that or they led by example or whatever it was. God blessed us.
Well, her
with that.
her whole last year of school, she survived on her savings that she saved from working. You know,
Nice. What about this? How much AA? Does your dad AA you a lot? Does he feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me something. Tell me some of his slogans.
Oh my god. I don't know if they're like specifically AA, but like I know like you get the ideologies from AA and you get the. I feel like I have so many and I don't have any.
I know. I just put you on the spot, huh?
But what's
well, the funniest one. Well, I shared this maybe a year ago. I actually before you went to school. Me and Bonnie were talking in the kitchen, and I forget what we were not arguing. We were just talking, and Emily walks from the shower to her room with a towel on. She stops in the hallway. Hey, Dad, and I look down the hallway. What was your part? And then walks in the room like that little bitch just AA me right.
I'm
a damn
just
towel. She listens.
My friend, a lot of my friends have always they'll be like, I like to talk to you just because of the things you say, and it's because I learn to listen through him, and then I will AA them.
She A's the shit out of him.
Do you know how many times I can't count on the amount of like fingers I have. The amount of times I've told my friends, fear is just false
evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real, and you're letting that whole like it's I AA my
That's
friends.
pretty cool shit.
They don't
right
know
there.
they're getting AA.
And she'll come. I mean, she's brought more stuff to me from friends and stuff, their problems, and then taken, and then she's like she's like the counselor, via me, via Alcoholics Anonymous, really.
And I like to do that because it's
And they come to her for that reason.
and it's because
it's a family trait.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't take credit for it, but it's because I try and lead with listening first.
I love
can't
that.
I can't
Love
tell
it.
you the amount of times I've been told, Emily, you need to stop listening with your mouth and start listening with your ears. And that's so right because sometimes I do just like to be but like
That is your dad.
when it comes to the important stuff, I try and lead with listening first, and you never tell anyone what they should do, because even when I was a hormonal moody teenager, there was never at any point in my life where I thought I have all the answers. I know I don't have all the answers, and I will never have all the answers until the day I die. So all you can do is just listen to their side,
Right.
whatever they because there's another AA. There's three stories when it comes to the truth. There's your experience, their experience, and then the truth. And you have so much of every variable to go with. All you can do is just listen, and then say, based off what you have told me and based off what I've seen or what I've heard, it feels like you're feeling this way. It feels like you're going through this. Would you say the same?
Yeah.
And I think that comes from leading with listening first.
So if acting doesn't work for you, would you? I mean, what's your ultimate goal? Is it to be an actress?
No, my ultimate. I love arts education, and I think arts education is so important, and it should be more integrated.
You want to teach it in the schools?
I want to be. This past semester at school, I met a wonderful woman. Her name is Diane McBride, and she is what I want to do.
Okay.
She
Good for
is.
you.
She is a college professor at. Or can I give all these details?
Oh yes,
Oh, I
absolutely.
mean, love you, Diane. She is a college professor at Las Positas, and she started the conservatory there. And then she's a guest lecturer at East Bay. That's how I met her, and she did my very first show with me there. She's the one that said, I think you should do this. She invited me to audition for The Wizard of Oz. And she also works professionally. She's done shows at Berkeley Rep. She just directed The Wizard of Oz. She is a teacher, and she teaches her students, and she gets it from experience. She's like, I know this works in audition rooms, and I know how they think because I'm in them. Like, now I don't think I'm going to get my degree and immediately start doing that. You got to work towards it. But, it's almost like like you said, I am not afraid to work. I have no problem, teaching a dance class at the middle school and then going to teach my theater class at the high school, and then in the evening going and doing my own shows.
Yeah,
But
see-
her gift is, well, she's got a lot of gifts, but one of her major gifts is teaching with kids. Not that she doesn't, I don't think she wants, well,
she
to my
gets that
knowledge,
gift from you.
To my knowledge, she does not want children, which
Well,
is
but
which
she
is fine.
gets that gift. You realize
Yes.
that teaching she gets from you.
Yes, and
Because-
she's amazing at it, and everybody from every age
so are you.
responds to her.
So
it's
are
it's
you.
amazing how they
So
respond
are
to her.
you.
Well,
So are you.
she's amazing.
Your dad's amazing.
But
That's what he does.
I'll deal with the adults. The kids, from kindergarten to fifth to high school, they respond to her. It's a gift.
Well, counseling has always been in there for you too. I know that is you with the knowledge that you have and how compassionate you are, that the counseling would be an amazing thing for you, because you've been doing it.
And
Right.
it's something I've thought about. After going to school, they know my school journey has been hard, and I was really, really bad about not showing them the good parts that happened afterwards, because what going to school showed me is you can dream big again. I remember after getting out of high school, COVID happened, and I wasn't able to graduate or go to the Disney trip. My dad had cancer. Like I started my schooling journey fuck this art shit. I guess I got to
Right.
go into psychology, and I didn't want to necessarily be a therapist, but I like the study. I like science as well. I like the study of the brain. So I was like, surely I can do something and help something with this. And the world just felt so small and confined. And then meeting people like Diane, who is an educator, and she is just as good as a teacher as she is as a performer. And I was like, I can do that. And I was like, dreams can be big again. So I'm like, counseling may be in my future. I was like, that's something I wouldn't mind at all.
It's fun seeing your eyes brighten up like that. It's that's pretty cool, because there's so many people, and I forget about that generation of kids that went through that. That is a very, very tough.
It smacked her right in the face. Logan was a freshman, sophomore, so
Behind
it took away his sophomore year, but then he got to go back his junior, senior. He got to go, but it really smacked her in the face.
I think seniors and juniors from that year got it the worst, because then juniors didn't get to go back and do their senior year.
Correct.
So you were supposed to graduate 2020 or 2021?
2020.
Okay. Well, Emily, you're amazing, but we're gonna have you back. We're gonna break here. We're gonna come back with another topic, and we're gonna let you jump into it. But is there anything else you want to say before we close this episode out?
I guess just
You're an asshole.
I know.
I guess just like thank you.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. No. I have one more question.
Go ahead.
I asked you what your 7-8-year-old, what you go back and tell a 7-8-year-old. So there is. So you're of the age of 24 years old. What would you say to other women of your age group that are watching their dads go through something, or they're starting to struggle through it? What's some words of advice that you would give to that person that's looking at either alcoholism in the mirror, or they're watching an alcohol?
I find it really hard to give broad advice because, like I said, I consider myself very lucky because I have a father who was not an abusive alcoholic, who was not a yelling alcoholic. So because every situation is so different, it's really hard to give broad advice. So that's why I feel like the best you can do is just... I think just have faith in yourself. Just have faith in yourself and look at everything, and just look at your own situation and just look at everything. Look at the way it's affected everyone, and then kind of work through it and see what you need specifically. Because someone who was hit and abused by their father would give me very different advice, not understanding
Very
where
true.
I'm coming from.
Very true.
So I think that's the best I could just you know who you are, and you know what you've experienced. Take that, look at that, and figure out, how do I grow and get what I need from this? How do I personally get peace from this? Because every road is different.
Emily, you found a niche in very early on in your life, and your niche was theater, and you stuck with it. And that's very commendable, because there's so mmany people, so many kids that find a niche, then go to another niche, and go to another niche, and go to another niche. And you're
She's definitely found her community.
yes, you've never left your community, and you're very true to yourself. And I think that's an amazing trait that a lot of people don't have. And I think it's, my oldest daughter, she wanted nothing but to be a nurse her entire life. That's all she's ever wanted, and she is. I love that. The artistic brain is a different style of brain too. You guys don't think these guys that did all the artwork on my arm, they're not normal people. Artists are not normal people, and I love speaking with them. That gets us out of our one-dimensional thinking to look at things a little differently. That's why I love speaking to different people just the same way you do. All right, baby, you got any questions?
No, I just want to say, I think that, Emily, you're, doing the Lord's work as it is already. Your dad is giving you a good foundation. Well, your mom too. I mean, we know Bonnie, but you have a good foundation. That's why people are turning towards you. Right. They're seeing the wisdom that you have. So you just need to continue to shine your light on them. Don't
let anything dull your shine. Anyways, sorry, this one, because it's a daughter, man. It's a daughter. You know how I get with my daughters. Mm-hmm. All right, get us out of here before I start crying again, damn it. Damn it.
Thank you for listening to the Recovery Unfiltered podcast.
We'll come
back. If you'd like to reach out to us, please email us at recoveryunfilteredpodcast@gmail.com.